Hello, and welcome to this webinar by the Global Farmer Network. Today's session is focused on regenerative agriculture and how it promotes farming communities and farmer dignity. I'm Ellie Sukup, a Global Farmer Network staff member based in Washington, D.C. Before we start, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the Global Farmer Network. Established in 2000 by farmers, our focus is to connect, empower, and mobilize farmers worldwide. Our mission is to amplify the farmer's voice in promoting trade, technology, sustainable farming, economic growth, and food security. We believe in the power of knowledge transfer, which is why we created this webinar series and offer multiple approaches that focus on action, collaboration, and results that showcase agriculture as part of the solution to the main challenges facing humanity. This year, we are celebrating our 25th anniversary, but we are looking forward to the future too. And that is why today's topic is so relevant. Thank you for joining us. Today's speakers, we are going to be hearing from Jorge Lopez Menendez, a regenerative farmer from Argentina, and Shekhar Bazavle, a regenerative farmer from India. With that, I'm going to bring Jorge to the stage, and we're going to kick off with his presentation.
Good morning, everybody. Well, I'm Jorge Lopez Menendez from Argentina. Like you see, I am in the farm, working like always, like all the farmers around the world, every single day. So, well, let's go to the introduction. I'm a farmer without farm, without land. So for me, that is can we move the next one, please? So for me, it's really nice to say this, and I feel lucky because whatever we are speaking about, I can talk with the experience in different lands, and that for me is great. Well, I lived 10 years in Africa, and then I am in Argentina. I'm flying to Africa and some places more. And I really, my new project since 2 years ago, I am focused in regenerative practices, and I think, and I am excited that it's a path forward in all the farming system. So definitely, I have a passion about this topic. I think that today's talk is about dignity and the communities, and all my experience in Africa. That was the main point, that why I was doing there the farming. Definitely, I feel that farming give dignity. We are really proud to be a farmer. But when I start working there, I see that being a farmer in Africa is not dignity. It's not the farmers there. They are not proud, because everybody think that being a farmer in Africa is synonymous of poor and subsistence. So I definitely like to work on moving forward about that thinking. No, please, next one. What regenerative agriculture means for me, I think that the main important thing is that we need to farm in a way that our next generation have better facilities, better soils, and definitely if we don't do it in the correct way, the most thing I can do is in Africa. My experience is that if we don't put under production all that big lands that never produce nothing, if we don't do it in the correct way, definitely we can destroy it. And well, for the farmer, the most important thing that we have to for our activity is to have soils and soils with quality, and the possibility of around in the next time continue having that possibility of having soils with potential. And why I like regenerative, because we before we use the term of sustainability. For me, it was really important about talking about that in Argentina, in Africa, to make the soils at least have the same potential that we had before. But regenerative, we are thinking about restoring soils and build resilience of that soils. And well, we have to think in long perspective and thinking about improving the quality of the soils. For me, for the farmers, that is really I feel that is a next step that we have to do. Please, next one. Talking about dignity and communities. We discuss a lot about regenerative in Argentina, in US, when we talk with in the Global Farmer Network about this, and definitely is big the work that we have to do. But I always talk about this. If we don't have time to think about it, to think in 30 years forward, and you always are thinking about today or tomorrow, definitely it's impossible to do it. And what I see in Africa is that the farmers don't have time to think. Every single day have to go to the farms, push forward, make their best, and these numbers for me are really strong. In Africa, 1 hour of work of a farmer produces 10 kilograms of grain, and in the other side, a US farm in 1 hour make 800 kilos of rain. So imagine a farmer in US have a lot of time to think, have a lot of time to discuss, have a lot of time to do it in a better way, the production. In Africa, farmers don't have time. And in the other side, farmers in Africa to have a plant a crop is walking around, coming, going, and this again, you don't have energy, you don't have time. So the new technologies that we have to put under these places of production give a lot more time to the farmer, and that will help a lot to start thinking and to trying to make a difference, to start trying to intensify the rotation and the production. So I think that this is a point that is really important. The new technologies for sure get more production, for sure get more money in the pocket, for sure brings a lot of things that we discussed plenty times. But an important thing that give it to us is that we have time. When we have time, we can discuss, we can study, we can talk with other farmers, go to other places and see other systems of production, etc. So definitely is a really point that we have to think about. And please, the next. I always say that we have 100 farmers in Africa that can be a really important actor in this transformation. They really can mitigate climate change, and at the same time feed for sure the world. I always say that Africa will be the supermarket of the world, not 10 years or 20 years. I think that will happen. They have the resources, they have the soils, they have the rain, they have the temperature. So there is a place that if we put the correct technologies, if we support them and make them believe and have time to think that they can do it, it will change a lot. And the strong thing that I see in Africa is that young people can do it. In other places of the world, we have that problem that young people are really not connected to the farm. In Africa, that still don't happen. But at the same time, we need to give these young people the possibility and the the motivation to be part. Definitely, we need the young people to be in the farms to push this new transformation. And I believe that the young people are the people that will be creative. They put a lot of energy. They will bring the new technologies, and definitely this in energy, new energy, young energy, pushing these technologies will make definitely the transformation that we need. Next one, please. So, some things that I believe to have some conclusion is that regenerative uh, is to produce and give a lot of dignity. So we don't only make food, for sure we can make food, but we have to be the ones that take care about the soils. That is the way to help a lot of climate change mitigation, to put under production new lands, to give more food, and at the same time be a principal actor to help about taking care about resources. And the other thing is that for the communities I work in Africa, and even I see it in Argentina, when the farm improves in technology, improves in new economic ways, I feel that regenerative will bring new business to the farm. So give a lot the communities in Africa for sure make a transformation when you intensify production, when you make better economies on that communities change a lot life of the entire community. In Argentina too, in US too, because again, a new economic is coming, a new motivation for young people is coming. So we will be a really strong actor in the life of these communities in the near future. And another thing that all the time we are discussing is when you intensify the production in the land, you can make it in the way that you are regenerative. We are doing in a regenerative way for sure, and this is really really important. So let's go at the end. I can say that I always say, next one, please, Ellie. Uh, I always say that this is a strong message. The land is not a heritage. It's definitely our next generation is they are giving that to us. So definitely we have to take care about the what they we have today. Definitely we have to take care about this. So well, Ellie, thank you very much, and to all the audience, I think that I make it on time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jorge. So, for our next presenter, I'm going to introduce Shakar. And so, as I add Shakar to our stage here, hello, Shakar is going to be presenting from India, and I'm adding his presentation now. Shakar, please take it away.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And I want to first congratulate the team of Global Farmer Network, especially because this subject of dignity to the farmers is taken for the first time in the world, on the globe, first time on a platform where all the global community is made aware about it. Because I believe it very strongly that for a human being to survive, they say we need food, shelter, and clothing. But in my opinion, it's not only three things, it should be four things. And the fourth thing for a human being to survive and perform should come first, and that is dignity. At least in a country like India, which is a developing country, there the farmers do not get dignity. In fact, in the rest of the world, even in the developed world, the farmer is given the last opinion. The farmer should get the first stage, the first opinion. And in India, when I became a farmer, this is the first thing that I found out, that farmers do not get dignity, especially when they are doing the most important work, that they produce food, and that food is used, consumed by everybody else to do their job effectively. For example, A doctor has to survive by eating food, and then only he can perform his duties as a doctor. Same as the lawyer, politician, an engineer, a bureaucrat, they all need food. And to get that food, they spend a very little portion of their amount of money which they earn in a month or in a year. They spend a very little portion of their amount, the money, to get that food. So the farmer must get dignity, and GFN is doing a wonderful job of getting that dignity. Now, how does the regenerative agriculture work with that dignity part to the farmer? I want to, as I told you, I returned from America in 1976 when I was 25. And I was asked by my father to take charge of the farm, family farm, where there was actually no activity. So it was a very hard work to get the activities done. But then the hardest portion was, while I was working to produce something, I was losing dignity in the society. And that was the pain, that was the worst situation in my mind. Excuse me. So to get dignity is something very important. I was working on my farm with these 5 different activities: field crop, horticulture, aquaculture, a very small dairy, and agroforestry. And all these 5 activities were integrated with each other. But I was not satisfied with all these activities. Only I became happy and satisfied when I combined all those activities with agrotourism, where the dignified peoples from society, from urban area, they started coming to my farm and they started appreciating the work I was doing. This appreciation by dignified people, dignified members of the society, to a farmer is dignity to the farmer. So in other words, GFN office has invited me as a farmer to talk on this platform is a big dignity to me as a farmer. And so this dignity must come to the farmer. Only then the farming community will be happy to go ahead. New generation, young able youth will get into farming only if that work of that young person coming to the farm is dignified, is appreciated, is recognized. Only then we can attract able youth into farming. Actually, it is one of the major problems worldwide that farmer is getting old, and I'm sure the reason is that the farmer is not dignified appropriately for that work he is doing. It's a hard work, it's a monotonous work. He has to be away from the society, she has to be away from the society and keep working very hard. So getting dignity is the most important thing to the farmer. I again and again want to thank GFN for bringing out this very important subject on a global platform. So this is my farm, as I'm showing you in the rightmost left bottom situation here, our agrotourism slide. Here at our farm, through agrotourism, we give this unique ride, water buffalo ride, we call it WB ride. So we give this ride on our farm to the guests who come to visit us. They remember us forever. And so I will go to the next slide. Here is the farmer. What do you see on his face? He is very happy. happy farmer is a very important situation. To produce the food effectively, sufficient quantities and nutritionally dense food is possible only when the farmer is happy. So, and the farmer can be happy only when he feels that his work is recognized. The rest of the people from the society, they say, wow, this is a wonderful field. So this happy situation on the in the farmer's case is very important, which we confirm after 12 years of regenerative method of farming on our farm, that only regenerative method of farming can bring this happiness to the farmer, and the farmer is dignified. I want to show you that this young girl, she is a fresh graduate from school, from agricultural school, and and she has entered into farming. And look at her farm. Her farm is equally beautiful. It's very uniformly vigorous crop. So she is also very happy and she feels dignified. Look at this soybean farmer. This year, actually, we have a terrible year because we have excess rainfall. There is water, that is free flowing water, flowing through his soybean farm. Tremendous, huge, lots of rainfall, but still his crop is saved because of regenerative method of farming. The soil health has improved. The soil drainage capacity is very good, and that is why his crop is saved, whereas his neighbor's crop, who has not accepted regenerative method of farming, that crop is wiped out. His all soybean is completely doomed, it's decayed, whereas this regenerative farmer is happy because his crop is saved, and that is only because of regenerative method of farming. Look at this, another farmer. He is growing now the corn. Earlier, his cost of production was 4 times more than what he is getting now. At the same time, his crop yield is double. He used to get 30 to 35 quintals per acre of corn grain. Now he's getting 55 quintals as against 35 quintals at half the cost of production. So these are all the advantages that a farmer gets, and this is why we are able to see now many youth is entering and coming back to their farm, to their family farm, because the work is becoming easier, it is becoming cost effective, he or she is getting better yield, the yields are climate resilient. So all these factors are possible only in regenerative agriculture, and that is why the farmers are happy, dignified, and now it is guaranteed that able youth will enter into agriculture. So also this is a cotton crop. Regenerative method of farming is not restricted only for a particular crop. Regenerative method of farming can be adopted for just about every crop now. Even sugarcane, we have this technique called SRT, Saguna Regenerative Technique. SRT is a regenerative method of farming, which I will show you what do I mean. But it is now adopted in our state by more than 10,000 farmers over a period of last 7-8 years. And now all these farmers are becoming happy. And as you can see, when I go visit that farmer, the whole community comes around. So the SRT is good for a individual farmer. So regenerative method is good for single farmer as well as it is good for the whole community. So especially when the whole community gets involved with this type of SRT farmer, everybody becomes happy and confident. This elderly lady, as you can see, the amount of confidence on his face, and she's standing so strong. She's standing tall in her field, and that is only because of SRT regenerative method of farming, and her work is dignified by her own family, in her village, by her society. Everybody gives dignity to her because of this such a, uh, uh, wonderful crop, so uniformly vigorous crop at a lower cost of production. The whole community, as I told you, when the community, of course, it is started first by one individual farmer who is very outward kind of a person. He takes up the challenge. He accepts the he wants to accept a change to bring prosperity in his farm. And when he brings the change, the community changes. And of course, this farmer. So this is my field which is right in front of my house. I cannot wait to get up in the morning, and I cannot wait till the dawn breaks when I see this particular field, because as soon as I see this field, which is regenerative method of farming for last 13 years, when I see this field first thing in the morning, I feel dignified. I feel very strong from inside. So these are my experiences. This is very important, that every farmer should get this happiness in his life. So all these things are possible only when the soil, the motherly land, becomes happy. You can see this is a big change. Now this first sample here looked like the looked like how my soil was about 13 years ago. Of course, this is my neighbor's soil now. But as you can see, 3 years change, 6 years change, 8 years and 10 years. The same soil turning like this. We all know that book, Dirt to Soil by Gabe Brown. So this is what is seen on my own farm through regenerative method of farming. The soil becomes healthy and the farmer's life becomes happy. Healthy soil is the key to regenerative agriculture, and in turn dignity in the society. The farmer becomes happy, the community becomes happy. Once the soil becomes happy, the motherly land, we call motherly land in our country, because it's the we say soil is our second mother. So our life starts from the soil. So we call motherly land, and motherly land must be happy. And the motherly land can be happy when there are earthworms naturally, when there are earthworms in all kinds of soil, and that is possible only because of regenerative method of farming. When you regenerative method of farming. So this is how we define Saguna regenerative technique, SRT. It is a zero-till conservation method of farming which does not cause atrocity of tillage, completely stops erosion, enhances microbial and earthworm activity, increases organic carbon of the soil, considerably increases productivity of the land and crop resilience, an added effect of amazing happiness and confidence to the farmer. So every word is very important. It reflects what do we mean, what do we as the farmers together at Global Farmer Network, what do we mean? Regenerative agriculture is mentioned in this definition. So now what we are doing, that we have not stopped at our own field. We have not stopped by few thousand farmers turning into accepting regenerative method of farming. Our mission of my team is to make every farmer of our country happy, confident, and and regenerative. So it is possible. So by regenerative method of farming. So we want to take this mission to the doorstep of the farmers. Now what we have done is we are in a matter of few days, maybe 15 days, we will be turning on the farmer training schools to be started at the regenerative farmers field. So these regenerative farmers will have the successful regenerative farmers will start their the farmer field training schools for SRT, and this is our most important, very ambitious project where we will be converting 1500 star farmers, 1500 the farmers where it will be they will have on their own fields the representation of SRT regenerative method of farming. So this is our ambitious project. We have got many projects going on, but I would like to stop here and uh, I would like to stop here once again thanking GFN to give this dignity, this big, this is a big deal for farmers of all the globe that GFN is doing very important work for dignifying farmers' work. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shakar. So we're already getting a lot of questions from our audience, which is wonderful. So Jorge, I'm going to add you to the stage as well. Thank you so much to both of you for your presentations. I think what makes you both kind of this power duo in a way is the geographical experience that you bring. So Jorge, you're a farmer in Argentina, you're on the farm right now, but as you said, you spent 10 years in Africa. And then Shakar, you've been doing this work in India for nearly 50 years now, which is phenomenal. But we all know that your stories, you've had to overcome quite a few challenges. And so to kick us off, I'd like to hear about those challenges when you were starting out and practicing regenerative agriculture, and how did you overcome those challenges? So Jorge, I'm going to go to you first specifically, and if you could tell us first where in Africa you were farming, and then those specific challenges that you were facing. And then if you've had those same challenges in Argentina, and how have you overcome those to be a successful regenerative farmer?
Yeah, sure. Well, I born in Argentina, so I see all the transformation that no-till makes in my country. That was a revolution here in Argentina. We put under production really places where the rain was not too much, the soil was not so good. Because of the technology, we intensified that places, and we definitely at the beginning we see that that. The soil sustainability they stay like that, and then with cover crops, service crop, I like service crops more than cover crops, start improving the soils. And definitely when I moved forward to Sierra Leone, was my first place I work, and in Kenya the technology was not there about no-till, so I have to take planter machines, and that was a big challenge. And then where is teaching them how to use it, because they used to how do you say use plow and the traditional way, and they don't understand how it works. So at the beginning was to teach them in some way. And again, the challenge was to give dignify to these people that believe that they can do it, that it's a different way to do it. The big challenge is that it's not a copy paste. Definitely, you have to go there, farm with them. It takes time. It takes resilience. For example, the first year was not so good about rain, so you cannot show the results, but you have to keep pushing. But the better way is farmer to farmer. I believe on that. So we cannot go to a small room and talk about regenerative. No, we have to show the technologies in their farms, not bring it to Argentina, because in some moments I bring farmers from Africa to Argentina. Yes, was nice. They really see another way. But when they came back, was not a copy paste. They have to. So definitely you have to show the technologies on their farms.
Phenomenal. Shakar, how about you? You said that, when you returned in 1975 and your father said, make it profitable. How did you do that?
Well, see, in olden days, like I would say maybe 70 years ago, 75 years ago, in India, they used to say farming is the best. The middle activity is the trading, and the worst, and the kanishta means the poorest, the least dignified is the service, uh, is working for somebody. What's the word for that? It's working for somebody to take a job.
Mhm.
But today it's exactly opposite. The farming is gets the least dignity. So when I came back from America, supposed to be highly studied, it's a foreign return, was a big thing, big deal in India. But even after returning from America, getting all that education, I getting into farming was itself a laugh for the people around me. People kind of picked on me. People looked at me with a low dignity. But this was the tough job. This was the tough point in my life, that without paying attention to what people laugh at me, I had to keep going. Then what George said, that it is another thing that you cannot do everything yourself. You have to work with a team, and the team is not ready to accept what you are trying to tell them, which is a different method. So for which one has to work harder. I had to work harder, two times harder, and keep convincing those teammates that we want to try it out. We want to try a change for betterment in our life. So this was another challenge. The third challenge was not sufficient income, and that, of course, had to be persistently keep working harder and harder, and expect lesser and lesser. Still keep eye on the final objective of a change for betterment, experiment for the betterment. And all these things, I kept on working hard. Finally, uh, I could prove to my team that with lesser hard work, lesser cost of production, we can get over it. And that was the new change, new thing which they could see as the in the form of regenerative method of farming. We named it SRT, Saguna Regenerative Technique. And then the people were happy. So this was the it was I had to keep on working at a small area and prove it with persistent efforts. And when the results were born, I could replicate it on a larger area.
Amazing. So I think what is so great about both of you is this idea of, yes, you have your own experience, but you have really made it your mission to work with others. As Jorge said, it's that farmer to farmer component. Shakar, you're doing this with SRT. So how important is knowledge transfer from farmers who are practicing regenerative agriculture to the next generation? How important is it for policymakers and consumers? And what do you feel is the most effective way to share the knowledge you have gained? Shakar, I'm going to start with you.
Okay, yeah. So farmer to farmer sharing knowledge is the best way, because in case of farmers, we have a saying that seeing is believing. You cannot just keep talking, giving them hypotheses, giving them principles of science, and so many things. But it has to be actually demonstrated. It has to be seeing. That way the farmers can become ready. They become ready to adopt a change. So seeing is believing. Now the best way, uh, what is practiced in country like India, is the universities where scientific community is paid to do a job. They do a new research and developmental work, and then they practice it on the farms of the university, and then it is taken, that knowledge is taken by the extension worker to the farmers. Now, this flow from scientific the research and development in the university by paid scientific community and then taken to the farmers has not worked in last 75 years. It has not worked very effectively. So the best way is farmer to farmer education, farmer to farmer training, farmer to farmer demonstration on the farmers' fields. And then when many farmers take it, then the bureaucrats get attracted to a group, to the change. And when the bureaucrats get attracted, then I think that it's the good time for universities to come in picture and validate that, or find out the basics of the science of that new technique, new change, and then they should really validate it so that it becomes more easy to replicate that whole situation. In case of regenerative method of farming, though it is so important, though it is so good, though it is so working very well at the farmer's field, it is not spreading so fast. And that is because it is farmer to farmer. It needs to be validated. It's high time that the validation should be done by the universities. That way the bureaucrats can accept it and take it forward.
Thank you. Jorge, given your experience, what has been the most effective way to share knowledge that you've gained?
Well, I talked before about this. I believe in young people have to be creative and help us with this, because I think that is the big fail that we have like farmers. That's why I feel proud and I love what Global Farmer Network we are doing and we are trying to do, because it's not easy. Because every farmer more or less know about a scientific way how we can do better production, how we can check about the soils, how we can work in a sustainable way, in a regenerative way. But definitely all the society don't feel the same, because they have some histories and some ways to communicate better than us. The example of Greta, I don't have nothing personal with Greta, but he makes a lot of good things, but bad message in some places. So, well, we have the opportunity to go different focus, conference and different things that the farmers have small voice, and the policymakers hear everybody, and maybe a strong message for other part that is not the same message we can check it there. So I believe on that. We have to have a history to tell to the society. Not for sure science is I am professional, I study a lot, I read a lot, but definitely the new generation, the new society don't even believe 100% in science. That is strange, but it's happening. So we need to find a way, and young people can help. Social media, small videos, taking histories to them, show what we are doing, and small histories about how regenerative farming or farming the correct way makes a lot of benefits to all the society. So we need to be really professional, and that thing today. Schechner showed me in a place where we were together. He's working about happiness of the farmer, or happiness of the society. That for me was great. In Africa, we have to show the young people that be a farmer is not all the time, sad and hard work, etc. No, come on, let's talk happy about our work. let's say that it's a way of life, that is a nice way of life, that we are not criminals, we are taking care about the soils, we are taking care about, we are putting our effort to help about climate change, to find a solution for the problems, to the hunger for. So come on, we are doing great, but we have to take that history to the other society. People on the city don't understand what we are doing. In Argentina, they don't understand what we are doing. We have a movement that says that we are rich people that destroy soils, etc., etc., and that message make make really a strong. A lot of people in the cities believe on that. So we have to make a big effort to be. That's why we signed a Declaration of Regenerative Agriculture. We have to be one one one. One step forward. Because if we don't do it, a Greta can come and say, no, regenerative agriculture is to do this, this, and this. No, no, we are farmers. We can show you what it is. We can uh, discuss about this. We have the science, we have our histories, we have how this move forward communities, and in Africa, how Africa can start feeding themselves. Uh, I, Everybody asks me about what is the market of Africa. Come on, Africa is importing what they eat. It's is stupid. Sorry about this. They use a lot of dollars of their economy that is really little to import food. So they will never. The market is there. So if they do it in a correct way, and again they have the opportunity to make it correct from the beginning, because we make some mistakes in the past, destroying soils, destroying nature. Africa, they are just starting to put on the production a lot of land. Okay, let's help them to do it in the correct way. So they have a benefit there. So I think that is my point of view.
I love how you essentially answered my next question without me even having to ask it, Jorge, which is about youth, essentially. So there have been a lot of questions coming from the audience, a lot of chatter about the importance of youth. And I think what's interesting is that it's not an issue that is specific to Africa. Shakar, you also talk about youth. Argentina, the US, where I'm currently sitting. We also talk about youth involvement in agriculture and what do those opportunities look like for them. So Jorge, I thank you so much for touching on that. And Shakar, in your context, I would love to hear about how you feel you can make agriculture more attractive to youth, and more of a motivation to practice regenerative agriculture, knowing that youth are the future.
Well, when see in agriculture, one of the negative point which was mentioned by Hore earlier, that is the time. Available time to the farmer is very little. That farmer has to continuously keep working day and night, all the seasons, one after another. The farmer doesn't have, he's not left with time for his social activities. He, plus, the farmer is based far away in his farmland, far away from the where the social activities are there in the cities. So if we can make bring a technique which by which there is more time available at hand for the farmer, then able youth will start getting into farming. And this is what has happened. This is what we have seen in last 10 years. When farmers adopting SRT, their work, different operations are reduced. The dependence on the rain, the dependence on the labor, the dependence on the tractor is reduced. So they have to do less and get more. They are getting more. So this is a perfect situation. So farmer is getting a lot of time. In regenerative agriculture, it is zero tillage. There is no tillage between two crops. So when there is no tillage between two crops, there is almost 15 days to 1 month. Already the farmer is getting as a bonus. He or she doesn't have to do that work. So that way the farmers get time at their hand, plus their profitability is more, their productivity is more, because cost of production is reduced with less operations. So they get more money at their hand, they get time in other hand. Though this way the farmer can enjoy with their family, with that available time and available extra money. They can live like a urban person, they can enjoy like urban city person. This is one of the most important thing that Indian farmers are finding with the change to regenerative method of farming. So regenerative method of farming is bringing happiness to the whole family, happiness to the whole community. Also, there was one more very interesting aspect that came forward during our last farmers meeting about a week ago. The farmers said that there are less fights between husband and wife because of regenerative method of farming. So earlier, who will take care of the weeding? Who will take care of the harvesting? Who will look after the equipments? Who will pay attention to the cattle, the animals? So all these things, all the works have reduced. There is less dependency, and the work efficiency has improved like anything because of regenerative method of farming. So this is bringing happiness in a way that there is less conflicts between husband and wife, between the family and the main man, the main leader of the family. There is lesser and lesser conflicts, so less fights. This is very important aspect that has popped up and it has been discussed. And then we found out that every farmer is confirming the same thing. In his family, no more fights, far too less fights. So there is more that time, the energy is taken positively now. The family is enjoying life. So all these things are coming into the farmer's life only because of regenerative method of farming.
I love hearing you say this. I personally come from a social science background, focusing more on gender and youth, actually. And everything you have said today, everything from the time commitments that aren't always taken into consideration to, again, that knowledge transfer, using farmer to farmer, a reduction in conflict due to access to improved technologies and practices. These are all results. And what I love about both of you is that you shared your story in a way that really articulates that regenerative agriculture, well, we tend to think of the environment, and that's extremely important. Jorge, you said that this is a loan. The land that I am farming is a loan from my children. No one is denying that. But you've both touched on the importance of those interpersonal relationships. It is about your fellow farmers, your communities, your families, and the benefits that this brings to your overall well-being. And I just want to thank you both so much for telling your stories in a way that maybe we don't always consider or think about when we hear the term regenerative agriculture. So thank you to both of you. I'm going to pivot just a little bit because you both participated in the creation of this declaration. So back in April, we invited Shakar, you flew from India, Jorge, you flew from Argentina, and you joined 6 other farmers from around the world. And you talked about these very issues. You talked about not just soil health, you talked about no-till, but you also talked about the importance of including youth and attracting youth. You talked about the importance of bringing dignity to a farmer's life and to their family. And so I want to share the Farmer Declaration that you helped create. And I want my final question to both of you is two-part. First, why did you say yes to creating this declaration? And why should someone sign this declaration? Jorge, I'm going to start with you.
Okay, thank you, Eli. Well, really was not easy. It was tough. Uh, but in my new project, the Numen Bio, we really focus that the center player on this is the farmer. So definitely, I love how we start as farmers. Definitely have to be strong that we are in the center of this transformation, and we have to think together and to make networks and to push it to strong. Uh, because if we don't do it, another will do it. So for me to sign this declaration is to start being together and go to and push the message and to start having benefits of doing this. In Numen Bio, we work on that. We are doing it great. Okay, let's make the next step. Let's take it to the city. Let's take the message. If we don't do it, Greta will do it. Policymakers will do it. A bureaucracy guy will do it. So definitely, we are in the center of this. We have to make the discussion strong. We have to take the declaration, everybody, to be proud about this. Definitely, we can discuss more or less. It's not, but we find a conclusion in these days we work that take all the points that we think that are important. And the other question you make, I will finish now, is the young people. Young people will be, again, we have to bring young people. Come on, bring creative ideas, because we need them. So we have to stop saying that farming is sad. We have to say that farming is happiness. The message of Jackman. Sorry about time.
No, you're great. Shakar, same question to you. Why did you say yes to this and to creating this declaration? And why should someone sign this declaration?
Yeah. Well, farming is my passion. Farming is my life. I cannot survive if I don't have a choice to do farming. Only when I get up in the morning, I see the the beautiful field, the green trees. Only then I feel positivity in myself. So farming is my life. If I have to survive, I have to follow regenerative method of farming only. And I confirm that this conclusion is based on my experience, based on my knowledge of my scientific knowledge of agriculture. So I know that regenerative agriculture is the only way to save this planet, to provide food for everyone on this planet. This is the only way. This is why I joined this joint effort of global warming, and this is why I signed it. And why everyone else should sign it? If all of you need food in the future, you must sign this. So if you don't want food, if you can survive without food, don't worry, you don't have to sign it. But if you want food sustainably and nutritionally dense, you better sign this agreement.
Amazing. If that isn't the best call to action I have heard, I don't know what is. Thank you so much to both of you. It's always a pleasure talking with both of you. I learn something new every time. Thank you for all of your work, for to feed us healthy food and for bringing the people around you, your communities, that dignity and happiness. It is an absolute joy to know both of you. So thank you so much. To our audience, I want to encourage you to please sign the declaration. We've included the link in the chat, and here's the QR code as well. And we are not done. Our regenerative agriculture series is continuing. We have 2 more webinars where we will continue to hear from our farmers who participated in the Regenerative Agriculture Declaration. On October 22nd, we will be learning about row crops and regenerative agriculture. And then November 26th, we will be talking about livestock and aquaculture and the role they play in regenerative ag. Please register. Thank you so much for joining us. Take care, and we look forward to seeing you next month. Thank you.